Hi, it's Will from StormtheCastle.com, and here on YouTube you know me as Epic Fantasy, and this is my latest tutorial. This is the Wonder Woman sword, and easy and fun project. I give you the template, and we do it all with one sheet of foam board. It's pretty strong there. Nice little project, a lot of fun. If you like making details on projects, you can have a lot of fun with all the detail in this one. Let's do the intro. Dioramas, origami, catapults, and treasure stays, telescopes, terrariums, bonsai trees, and paper games, swords and shields, and real blacksmithing, model rockets, animation. I teach the art of real creation. StormtheCastle.com. Let's make something. Okay, so there you go. I have the template for you. It's a really easy template. The link is in the description of this video down below. Print up that template. It's free. Print it up. See, there's 2 parts that make up the handle, and there's 3 parts that make up the blade. And the way we assemble this, we get a pretty good sized sword out of it that's strong. So cut all those parts out. Cut those 5 parts out. And for the blade, for a lot of the blade, not all of it because some of it curves towards the point, but for a lot of it, this is a nice technique for cutting nice and straight. You know, use a straight edge and your hobby knife and an X-Acto knife or something. I don't know if I mentioned, I got that new handle for my X-Acto knife. I love that handle. It's very comfortable. So take those pieces 1, 2, and 3. And lay them out like this, nice and straight, and then tape them together, and then you'll have the template for your sword, for the blade. But keep it nice and straight. Keep those 3 pieces straight as possible. Makes a difference. So lay that on your sheet of foam board, and I'm using Elmer's foam board, which is, I consider, the best. It's very durable. And let me see, it's 20 inches by 30 inches and 5 millimeters thick. And make 2 copies of that blade. And put them close together so you have room on the sheet of foam board to put the rest of our pieces. I'll show you, you'll see how we lay about it. So now take the handle pieces, and there's 2 different handle pieces. You know, take note of that because it's important when you're building it. Like, see, this piece has the dragon's spine on it, up the top there where my right hand is. And this piece, the other piece doesn't have the dragon's spine on it. See the spine? So now you're going to trace out 2 of each of these. And because the parts are kind of complicated, you might want to put a couple of small pieces of tape on it to hold it in place so it doesn't shift while you're tracing it. There you go. So I've made 2 of that one with the dragon spine. Those are actually the internal handle. And then I trace out 2 of the external handle that just has like the dragon's head on it. You know, it's interesting, you know, if you look at the sword, interesting thing to see is that the handle is wrapped, and it's kind of like the dragon's tail that wraps around the handle. It's kind of neat. Nice sword. It makes me think of, there are some different swords I've made that have this kind of similar, the way they grasp the blade. So you make 4 of those, you end up with 6 pieces altogether. And after you trace it, you may want to strengthen the lines just so you can see them better. And then now, see, there we go, 6 pieces. Now go ahead and cut all those pieces out. And like we did with the template, use a straight edge if you want to get nice, crisp, straight lines on the blade. And here's a tip for cutting foam board. You make 3 passes. The first pass cuts the top layer of paper. The second pass you press hard and you cuts the foam. And the third pass you press down and you cut the bottom layer of paper, and the foam board separates very well. You know, use a sharp blade. Replace your blades often when it comes to cutting foam board. If you're tearing the foam board, it's time for a new blade. So let's assemble it. Let's start with the 2 handle pieces that are the internal handle pieces. I call them the internal handle, that has the dragon spine on them. See, it's got the dragon spine there up towards my right hand. It's now covering it. Glue those together. Take your 2 blade pieces and glue those together. And you can use hot glue, works fine for foam board. You can use a regular white glue, what's that called, EVA glue. Any glue that'll work on paper will work on foam board because the top layer there is paper. So glue those 2 pieces together. And now let's glue that into an assembly. Check it first. Try your handle on your blades, and if you need to make trimming, if you need to trim anything, go ahead and trim it. Once you got it to size and it fits well, try to get it snug, but it's not that important. This is a pretty strong assembly. Add some glue and then glue them together. And there we go. Now our final pieces. Well, we got a couple of detail pieces. I guess they're not the final pieces, but add some more glue there, make it nice and strong in the cracks and crevices. See? And then add on your outer handle pieces. And now this is important. There is a right way and a wrong way. If it doesn't seem to fit, the handle doesn't seem to fit on right, doesn't match, flip it over and try it again. So make sure you put the glue on the correct side and glue it on. But I like the look of that, how it's nearest us is like the dragon's heads, and then a layer down is the dragon's spine. It's kind of a neat little thing. See it? The dragon spines. It's kind of a neat. It gives this sort of nice look. Flip it over and do the same thing. Check it. Make sure you get the right side. Flip it if need be. See it fits correctly. It matches. That's what I mean. It matches. So then go ahead and glue it on. And the major part of the sword is done. And I like the fact that we only use one sheet of foam board to do this. And then now, shortly, well, we're going to do some painting, but then we're going to hit all the detail work, and that's where you can have some fun. If you like to do detail work, you can have a whole lot of fun doing all kinds of detail work with this sword. There is a lot of detail on this sword. See, there we go. Very nice. So before we paint it, let's trim it and clean it up a little bit. Use your hobby knife to clean up any inconsistencies. When you stack sheets together, you're going to get irregularities. Make it a nice stack so everything's nice and neat. And sand the edges. Not that part. Don't sand the paper like that. Just sand all the edges all the way around. Including the blade. I'm using 100 grit sandpaper. It doesn't really matter that much. 100 grit makes fast work of it. So now let's add a couple of details, and these aren't, I might not put these in the template. This little medallion here I made, I traced a quarter. That's a US quarter, so about that size. And then cut it in half through its middle. How do you bifurcate it, I guess? So it's half the width, and you have two of them. And glue one on one side, like that. Flip it over and glue the other half on the other side. There we go. So now paint it, and you really should do this. It's not mandatory, but you should do this step. Paint the whole thing black, everything. With the sword and the blade, the handle, the whole thing is just painted black. And it makes me think of a thing when I was doing this. I was like, boy, it'd be kind of interesting to do some kind of a black sword. It's kind of a neat idea. Let me know what you think about a black sword like this. It's almost like the knight, this knight without a K, N-I-G-H-T sword. And then once that black paint dries, paint the blade silver. Yeah, so let me know what you think about the black sword. I just thought it was such a neat idea. It's like for a nighttime assassin ninja sword or something. It absorbs light. It doesn't. You can't even barely see it. It's that dark, I don't know. The thought just came to me. It was kind of neat. So the blade is silver, and the handle is gold. Well, everything other than the blade is gold. Everything. And the silver and gold is a nice combination. Something we've done many times before in sword works and whatnot. If you haven't seen it already, I do have the Wonder Woman bracers. That's a fun project. And if you guys like these Wonder Woman projects, I'll probably do the shield too, depending. I get a lot of stuff going on. I get a lot of projects, so I have to, choose my projects. But if you like the Wonder Woman stuff, the movies ended up to be very popular. Okay, so now let's do the filler and the detail work on the sword. You can lay that template back down on the blade so you know where to draw the lines. And see, the thing about that is the indent. That's the important thing. You press down with a blunted pencil on the template and you trace the 4 lines that make up the filler. It's kind of like a fuller. And then right down the center there, add some runes, some writing, just go have fun, be with random kind of like that, symbols, and that's that. So now I added this part later. I decided I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it, but I've got a piece of foam board there I think that's about 5/8 of an inch wide, and then I cut it in half to reduce it in thickness. And you'll see right here. And it definitely is a good idea. You should do this too. Right? Now we reduced it in thickness there. See, it's half the width. And it's much easier to bend and without a wrinkling. And then wrap it around the top of the handle, right near that medallion we made. See it? And it's a good look. And glue it on. I think I'm going to show you a little bit more here. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. This is gluing it on, I think. So what is it there? Well, it's about 5/8, almost 3/4 of an inch. But see, that's what I'm saying. You know, you could have a lot of fun with the detail work on this sword. So now his let's wrap some. It's like a leather lacing in the movie. We're gonna just put faux lacing like this, like it's a wrap around the handle. And an interesting thing is that there's the dragon's, one of the tails of the dragon like that. So add that onto the pommel. And I use a marker, a Sharpie, to kind of emphasize those. I can't think of the name of that stuff. It's like gimp or something. It's almost like leather thong wrapping. And then add the dragon skin effect like this with a Sharpie. And that's pretty much it. There we go. See the dragon skin, and then maybe a little bit of the dragon, like that, and we're just about done. Now, if you have some kind of a sealant, you should seal it. It'll preserve it, make it last longer. Oh, and let's finish off that, because that was an afterthought. Let's add some gold paint to that. And I liked not doing this one piece, not doing a base coat of black paint, because it gives it a brighter look. See, a little bit different than the handle, so it doesn't merge in as much. It just stands out. I like it. So if you add this piece, don't black paint it. Add it last, and just brush on some gold paint right on the white. It gives it a brightness. So that's that. We have made the Wonder Woman sword. I got lots more stuff coming. I'm ahead of schedule on a bunch of things, and I got more projects coming. Check out my website at stormthecastle.com. Let me know what you think about this project. Give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment. I take project suggestions. You know, have fun. Let's make something.
Thanks for watching that video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're a subscriber, thanks for subscribing to my channel. If you're not a subscriber, hit that button. I always have lots of fun and interesting and very creative projects. I do 2 new ones every week. As an example, here's a couple more videos you might want to watch.